All right, Rach, how are we doing?
Great. Well, welcome to episode 2. So excited.
I can't believe we've made it to our second episode.
Oh my gosh, this is so much fun.
Oh,
And
I'm
the first
super
one's doing really well. So
People actually like hearing us talk.
I'm so happy about that. What a relief. Because I like talking.
We could talk for days, guys. We could talk for days. I mean, I think that everyone is kind of lucky that we set kind of like a timer on this, because if not, these podcast episodes would just be never ending.
Hours long. Yeah. Yeah. Good to breathe.
Yeah. Well, episode 2, we got a couple of things lined up that we want to talk about. We're definitely going to have some laughs, but I want to start off by asking you and sharing how you've been dealing with, coronavirus and the quarantine, and how do you feel? How have you been handling this entire situation?
Well, I felt, because I'm mostly introverted, and I did feel like this is just going to be what I've already been doing, kind of isolating myself and doing my own work remotely. But it's been emotional. It's been emotionally, it's been a roller coaster emotionally. I feel like I'm very sensitive, and I am an empath. Don't roll your third eye at me. I am. That's my business name, Urban Empath. But so I feel like emotions are contagious for me, and there will be times where I feel really anxious out of nowhere, or really irritable out of nowhere, or sad. And I feel like that's just the emotional roller coaster of this time.
Yeah.
But it's also been blessings have come out of it too. Like us reconnecting and starting this podcast and all of
Yes.
that. So
I think that that's a great thing, right? We got to start this amazing project and go on this journey, not just with each other, but with so many people who are slowly, joining us and having a good time with us. So that's a great thing. I really took advantage of this time. Really, I thought it was. I know it's very sad what's happening, but it's also been such a blessing for me on a personal level, and also I feel like for Mother Earth. Just all the beautiful things that are happening, to our planet, and kind of like that break and that breather that it's been having. I feel like animals are excited and feel free to roam in areas where they haven't been able to roam in years. And for me, and on a personal level, I really got a chance to get back to my creative side and start so many projects like this, my music with Lia, and I'm just so excited for everything that has begun and is already kind of, rolling along and already in place. So
yes.
this is my happy dance.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and out of this, let's talk about how everyone has been connecting through Zoom.
Yeah.
Right? Zoom has become
Zoom is booming.
Listen, if you got the money, put some money in those stocks. Why don't you?
For real. Everyone's on Zoom now.
Everyone is Zooming. And I jumped on that bandwagon. And I'm going to say we, because we both kind of, did that together. But we had the opportunity of having our AMDA reunion Zoom call. That happened last week. Right? And it was such a great opportunity for us to say hello and touch base with so many friends that we made during our time in New York and at AMDA, and seeing how everyone's life is so different, and who's still performing and who's not performing anymore, and how many people said that they were going to, like they got that artistic bug sparked in them again, like it came alive again after that call. How cool was that?
Yeah, that was a mind warp. That was very, like, it was nostalgia plus I felt like I had feelings from that time come back up and get stirred. And it was like, but it was also so much fun just to see familiar faces. It was like, it was bizarre. I guess that's like where we're at in life too, where, we're reuniting with people from the past. And, it was really so good to see everybody. I honestly didn't expect to feel so connected to those people. It was very surreal.
Yeah. It was so many mixed emotions, and I hadn't experienced that in such a long time, where I reconnected with someone from the past in a while. And in the last 5 years, and I guess we'll leave this for another episode, because that's a whole episode in itself, but kind of like my journey and coming back artistically, I kind of like was hiding under a rock. So for me to kind of put myself out there again and expose myself to so many people who knew me back then, it was nice. It was kind of like liberating in a way. And it was great to also see that we all go through many of the things that you feel that you're going through in life by yourself. You're not going through it by yourself. So many other people can relate to you and are going through it with you. So I think that was a beautiful thing, and kind of an eye opener in seeing like, hey, Lisa, you're not alone in the world, and you're not alone with the things that you think you're going through by yourself. Just like this quarantine.
Yeah, that there are people rooting for you, because I know how I felt when I saw everyone talking. I just was like blessing them. I was like, oh my gosh, you deserve the best in life. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt, even the people that I didn't necessarily know that well, I just felt like it bonded me. I guess the experience of going to school together in that intense environment and seeing people's vulnerability when they get up in front of the class, and that everyone's going through it. It makes you feel like, it's just like if I'm doing healing work with somebody, if I see their vulnerability, I will never really be able to judge them that harshly again. You know what I mean? So, because that's human nature. Absolutely. It just makes you feel so good to know that there are people out there rooting for your success in whatever that is. Absolutely. Because I felt that way to all of those people.
Yeah. It was a beautiful thing, and I'm happy that it got to come to life. It was awesome. And those are the things that I feel that are coming out of this situation that we're all living right now. This quarantine, COVID-19, and the coronavirus situation has, unfortunately brought a lot of sadness, but also brought a lot of beautiful things to life. So, blessing in disguise. Could you imagine if we would have had that Zoom call with all of our AMDA peers plus our teachers?
Oh my gosh. I know there are some I would have liked to see. For sure.
Oh my gosh, that would have been awesome. I mean, let's just start off by saying that my favorite teacher, and no offense to any other teacher during my time at AMDA, because I think they were all fabulous, but my absolute favorite teacher was Miss Elaine Petrikoff, whom I gave the name as my auntie.
Your auntie Elaine.
That's how much I loved her, that I needed to make her my family in some sort of way. She was amazing. Like, she gave me life during my time there, and I learned so much from her. That even to this day I still apply things that I learned from her. But I know you were sharing, and why don't you share it now, the story about our first assignment with her, because you remembered that so clearly.
I was a sponge at AMDA. Okay, I was trying to figure this out. I was like, I got to make this a science. Okay, I got to be famous. I got to be successful. I remember walking into AMDA, I thought acting was about facial expressions, so I didn't know anything. I was like, I am great at facial expressions. I'm a great actor. But with Elaine, she actually taught us about context in that first exercise in the first class. And
Yes.
AMDA alum, if you had Elaine, you'll recognize this. I don't know if other teachers taught this, but she had us write down, journal, and this is how we do a lot of our acting work. She'd have us journal. She had us journal about a vacation, and we had to write in all the details of that vacation. Yep. And then she went around a circle. We were sitting in a circle, and she went around and said, now I'm going to ask each of you, how was your vacation? And you'll answer it with 1 or 2 words, but it'll be full of context because you did the work. And that's one exercise, right, for acting. And I learned so much that day from her.
Yeah.
Do you remember that exercise?
Yes, I do. I just remember just sitting there and like writing this entire detailed story about my vacation at some tropical island somewhere. And but you know what? Like, I remember it being for the first day and her giving us all that assignment and just knowing that it was going to be such a great class, because that set the tone for the rest of the year, I felt like. Yeah. And, you know, it was just a snowball effect after that. Every time she assigned a new song, it was like Christmas, you know, because it was like, oh, the song that she's going to pick for me, it's going to be like, this is it. You know, it was like, you were so happy to hear what she chose for you. I don't know. I always just felt that my time with her was golden. And anything that came out of out of her mouth that was directed towards me, it was like I held on to those words and to that feedback like if it was, you know, came down from heaven, because, you know, I admired her so much, and I knew that anything that she was going to give me, I will be able to work with forever. So
you had some epic performances in that class.
Oh gosh, please, like,
epic, unforgettable. I will never forget. I'll never forget Wicked. Okay, that girl, you were in green. Okay,
I think that not because it was such an incredible performance. I think that just people remember it because I actually went all out and painted myself green. I went all in.
You went there.
This is how dedicated I am to being Alphaba.
Okay. And then I was like, I can't see anyone else's Alphaba now. And then you also did the performance where you were the waitress. Right?
Yes.
And at the end you did the button.
It's an art.
It's an art. And the button with the napkins. Oh my gosh. I'll never forget it. It's like this image in my mind forever.
Oh my God. I really worked hard on that waitress song on It's an Art.
That was not an easy song.
No, that was a very hard song. And I remember like literally breaking down the entire song into sections and working it that way. I had to work the song in sections because I felt like there was so much going on from beginning to end. There was so many little things happening in between the song that if those things weren't hit, if those moments weren't hit, it wasn't going to work. So I really had to break that entire performance down into sections and work it that way. It was a lot of work and a workout. Cardio workout.
Wow. I just remember the learning curve I went through, like, to use the music. What a concept, right?
Yes.
You know, to use the music and use it for acting beats and movement and buttons. And why didn't I consider that before?
And here I thought facial expressions were all I needed.
I just thought I got a great face. I'm an actor.
I mean, you do. So, hey.
I've got very expressive eyes, so therefore I am an actor.
Stare into our audience. Show our audience, you know?
Oh, okay. That was a little too intense. I'm sorry.
Well, I think our AMDA teachers, like, they were just some, like Ray Verda, that was your husband.
I love him. There's a pic of me with him on my Facebook from graduation where he's holding me and closing his eyes. So I'm like, oh, Ray.
You still have that picture by your bedside.
Uh-huh. Every night. I dream of him nightly.
Oh, Ray, he's awesome though.
we saw him on Broadway, right?
Yes, we went together to go see him while he was still our teacher. How amazing was that?
Oh my God, that was so inspiring. I'll never forget. I don't know what class it was. It might have been the first class. But I remember the day I fell for him. um,
Wouldn't it be awesome
like,
if you watches our podcast?
Ray.
And Ray, and then
you.
Ray responds, oh my God, Rachel, I felt the same way about you all these years. We're starting something. We need to stop. We're going to get in trouble.
Okay, here's how romantic Ray Verda is. And poetic and beautiful of a person. Like
He's a beautiful soul.
He was like, he saw something in me and believed in me in a way that and nurtured me as an artist. And I really needed that. That was the style I needed. That's what I need in life. Someone to do that for me every day. So I really like connected with him.
I'm here for you, Rach. I'm here for you.
Thank you. Just like Lia does for me. But I remember the first day, I think it was, and I learned so much about acting from just watching him. Like, just show us. Like,
just his little examples.
One day he took his glasses off and he's like, okay, so if these are my glasses, this is how I handle them. But what if they're Benjamin Franklin's spectacles and they're the first spectacles?
And we were like this.
And then he put them on a tissue and was like, wow, and like looking at them. And I watched him do that and I fell in love. I melted. That was just so inspiring and romantic, and it was beautiful.
Everything. I remember that day. But I felt like every time he gave examples, they were all that magical. All of them were magical and intriguing. Yes. And you would just like look at him and be like,
he drew us in. I was like, I want to be that kind of actor.
Yes, he was amazing. That intriguing persona is, I feel, what I took the most from him. You know, like that passion, that charisma, that mystery. You know, I feel that's what I took the most from him. He's awesome. He was amazing
because he was also capable of tough love. Like I do remember him not letting me get away with laughing at my own jokes.
Oh yeah.
Like he would be like, okay, Rachel, I saw the corner of your mouth go up. Right? Like he wouldn't let you break. Like he would call you out. Which
that's good though.
I needed that, yeah.
I think without that tough love, you won't grow that extra step that you need. So and those are the teachers that really made that difference for us during our time there.
I also really connected with Gail Dennison and Robert Ramirez. Do you remember them?
Of course, they were amazing.
Yeah,
Gail
they
was
were acting teachers for me.
Well, I had Gail my final semester, which is when we started going over. I think it was commercials and interviewing for really auditions for TV and things of that nature. So that final semester with her was like a breath of fresh air, because it was a completely different dynamic with her. And Robert was so much fun. You know, I felt like that was class where I got to really explore and really be free and do all the things that maybe I felt that I couldn't do in another class. And I really got to do it there and play with it and figure it out and see, well, this isn't going to work, but this can, you know, and really mold things and make it work for me. So, you know, it was all at different times in AMDA, but you know, at the end, it's like a puzzle. You started putting things into pieces until, you know, you completed the entire puzzle.
Did you have Pearson?
Yes, I did. Of course. My time, you know, my biggest takeaway with Pearson was not just all of the acting knowledge that I gained from him, but I think was the importance of meditation and yoga from an actor's perspective.
Yeah.
That I never even knew the power of that and how much it can help me and how much it can do for me as an actor and a singer and a performer in general. And to this day, you know, I still try to be good with incorporating that yoga and meditation aspect into my daily life, because as a performer, we need it. We need it.
That was offered daily as well. Remember that? Like you could go every morning if you want. We had some students that went every single day.
Yeah.
It was a bit early for my taste, but yeah.
I
With
know.
Kirsten, he's one of the only acting teachers who made me break, as in I cried once after I left because he was so hard on me.
Oh, wow.
He was the kind of teacher who would poke you and prod you to get stuff out of you.
Yeah.
And for me, I was just so sensitive, and like my self-esteem was going around.
Oh no.
The longer I was there, I felt like I just focused on the inner critic, and I let that rule me. I let that take over.
It took over. Yeah.
That perfectionism took over, and I still grapple with that. But I remember he, especially if he believed in you, but I didn't know that at the time, right? So especially if he saw something in you, he would poke you, and he was very like, I felt like he was being very mean to me. And one day after class, I broke and I was just crying. It's like, why? Like, I'm a failure. I can't do this. Like, I must really be bad. And I remember that was third semester, and he ended up having the scene I was in close the entire showcase for third semester. So I was like, oh, well then I must have been doing something right, but I just felt so awful. You know what I mean? So teachers have different styles, and if you know yourself enough, you can see that it's about them and what they offer, and not take it so personally.
Yeah. The thing is that, it's like you just said, the approach of every professor, of every teacher is completely different. And look at how the end result or his internally, his approach towards you was one of love and positivity. What he was trying to give you was of love, was positivity and love, but you weren't receiving it that way.
Right.
And it was so much later that you realized, wow, I didn't actually suck. I'm pretty good at this.
But yeah.
But like, Rach, I remember you being so great in class, and your acting was always on point. Your comedic timing was like perfection, and it still is. Like, I remember always telling you, I was like, you need to be on Saturday Night Live. Can you just please go to Second City and like make it already? Like, what are you doing? Just don't even graduate. Just go. You're ready.
That's so funny.
You were one of the top cats to me, at least, and that's what I admired about you so much, because you were so natural. And that's the most important thing, I think, in acting, is just that natural ability to approach the role, the character, and portray it with that sense, of this is it. This is me. This is the character,
Live the life.
Yeah.
That was the first time I heard that. I think that's what I heard at AMDA. But I've had so many teachers since then that I can't remember. But yeah, I think we learned about it, AMDA, live the life, right? That was the whole thing.
That was it.
Yeah.
And that really is it. That's the essential message. The biggest takeaway is that. But I do appreciate all of the hard work and all of the suffering that we went through, because tough love is what prepared us for the real world, and for the auditions, and for all of the experiences that have awaited us, and that we've gone through years after AMDA, right? And I would any day do it all over again and go through all of that again, because I know that it's giving me the tough skin that I need to be different out in the performing world. Because I remember that you and I were having some conversations during our AMDA Zoom reunion call with some of our peers who ended up going to the LA campus after going to the New York campus. And they were saying that in LA, they were so lax. They were super laid back. You didn't have to wear leotards to your ballet or dance classes. You can go in jeans. And that, you know, it was just a completely different, like, laid back environment. I'm like, what are they preparing you for? The party down at the beach? Like, you know, like, I mean, it sounds like a great time. Don't get me wrong. I'm always down for a party, but, but, I think that I would always go with that New York, you know, mentality and approach, because that's really what made us different and what prepared us for the real world out there. Because, you know, it's one thing doing mock auditions and auditioning for each other and performing for each other, to going out there and at 6 o'clock in the morning, getting in line and hoping that you're seen and you get the chance to audition for all the casting directors. So I'm grateful, super grateful for it.
Yeah, I do think training in New York gives you a certain amount of respect that you probably don't get when you train elsewhere because of that reason.
Just being in that environment, right? Also plays a big role.
There were students from all over the world.
Oh my God, they were from everywhere.
Everywhere.
It was such an amazing experience. It really was. And I feel that my time there really gave me a foundation that was needed to catapult into everything else.
100%. Like I said, I went in there thinking I can sing opera and I have good facial expression. So I got this. I'm a star. I have a time step for you too. On top of that, triple threat.
You didn't want to see my pirouettes, please. You don't want to see them now.
I was like triple threat, and then I left there, and because of the strict environment for me, like I said, the style for me, I appreciate it now looking back, because I felt like boot camp, I learned what I needed to learn, and then I knew what I needed to focus on. I think for me, I went in there, my confidence was built based on comparison. So I compared myself to other artists here, and that's how I built myself up with confidence. But when I got there, it was put with all these incredible artists, singers, people that could belt into the stratosphere. And
it was scary.
My self-esteem as an artist started like really plummeting, especially when I was told, first of all, I didn't know I couldn't belt. That is like the epitome of lack of self-awareness, but I didn't realize I wasn't belting. So when I was told, for your body type and your look, you're going to be expected to belt. You're not going to be called to do an ingenue role. So, and that's what I focused on the entire time. So for me,
it's so crazy.
I focused on my weaknesses. And then hearing people say like, but you were so funny and you were such a great actor. You know what I mean? Like, people have said that to me, but I focused on what I wasn't good at, because I thought, and I think a lot of people do that. They focus on their weaknesses. Yeah. Focus on your weaknesses instead of looking at your strengths. And, you know, like,
that was me when it came to dance, because I never felt that I was a strong dancer. So I was always so hard on myself on making sure that I, you know, was a good enough dancer, a singer that can dance, so that I can show up to these auditions and, you know, at least have a chance. Because I was, in my head, I was 100% confident that I was not going to be called for half of the things that I wanted to be called for, because the dancing portion was what's going to mess it all up for me. You know, in my head, I was like, Lisa, what good is it going to do you if you can sing, you can act, but you can't hold your part in these dance auditions? So I was always so hard on myself in that dance portion, because I never thought that I was good enough, or that I was going to go out there and make a fool of myself and ruin opportunities because I didn't dance at the level that I thought that I needed to dance in. So everyone's internal story is completely different, right? But it's the same thing. We're all doing the same thing to ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, nothing really slid, right? Like, if you went and you said your name and there was an upward inflection, they'd be like, do it again. Right?
You're questioning. You're making me question you already.
Is that a question?
Are you sure that's your name? Is that your name? Is that your name? What's your name?
Oh my God. Okay, so dance, Tracy Bonner. Did you ever have Tracy?
Amazing. She was spunky.
She was fun.
She was fun. She made me feel good about myself. She was awesome.
Julie Tamano.
Both of them, just put them in my pocket and take them with me to every audition that I went to. And just be like,
Cynthia.
Hey, just be like, hey, are you in there?
Cynthia Murray was my tap teacher.
Yes.
When I was trying to advance.
Oh, she was for you advanced people. I didn't have her. She was for you advanced dancers.
Thank God she was so patient and lovely, because, oh man.
She was awesome. I remember her. She was great. But listen, in general, we were blessed and had great experiences with so many teachers. So I'm happy. I'm happy of our time there. So if any of you teachers are listening to our podcast, we love you.
We love you all. Thank you. And special shout out to one of our former classmates, Andre Jordan, who came up with that question. He wanted us to talk about teachers, made his Broadway debut this year in Diana.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe he'll be a guest on our podcast soon.
Keep a lookout for it.
Give him that eye. Give him the eye. Give him the eye. All right.
Now he's not coming.
He's not gonna come. Well, Rach, so we're gonna wrap it up because we've talked about a lot of things already. So
we really did.
We don't want anybody to start snoozing on us.
Leave them wanting more. You know how they do.
We gotta leave them wanting more. You know what I'm talking about?
I hear you.
Episode 3, in your face, coming right up.
Oh, God.
Rapping is not my thing, apparently.
I liked it.
Thanks. That's just because you're my number one fan.
I am. I'm your number one. Lia all the way.
I'm your number one. You're my number one.
I.am.Lia. Instagram famous.
Instagram famous. All right, Rach. So next week, same time, same place. We're not going to tell you what we're going to talk about.
Because we don't know yet. But it probably won't be AMDA. Not to disappoint, but...
No, we're going to talk about something else. Moving on. All right, guys. Love you all. Thanks for watching and listening. Rach, see you next week.
Love you, Lia.
Bye. Bye.